Lately, both of my daughters are extremely into popcorn. So naturally, we decided to make them ourselves. There are a ton of recipes out there and I've tried different methods. And today I want to show you my fail-proof method for perfect popcorn every time. Before we even pop, we have to talk about the pot you use, especially the lid. It is extremely important to use a heavy bottom saucepan for even heating. Even more importantly, to have a lid without a hole. It is tempting to use a glass lid so you can see what's happening inside. But the reason why these popcorn kernels, they pop, is because they have up to 20% moisture inside. Through heating, the moisture turns into steam, and the trapped steam is what's going to make it rapidly expand and eventually pop. The objective of the exercise becomes very simple. We want to maximize steam retention. That's why it's important to use a tight lid like this. With that out of the way, easy toddler recipe is back, and let's make some popcorn. So, the fail-proof method. We first heat up the pan with medium heat, induction 6.5. A lot of recipes call for very high heat and then stove off. For me, it's unnecessary. While that's heating up, let's talk about the choice of fat. For me, the best thing to go with popcorn is ghee, clarified butter. It has this wonderful taste of butter without the milk solubles, which gives it a much higher smoke point, reducing the chance of it giving the popcorn a burnt flavor. And the beauty of making them at home, besides it's fun for the kids to witness, is that you get to control how much fat, how much sugar, and how much salt you add to the popcorn. Once the pot is sufficiently warm, we add the ghee. So, I always try to add just enough for the ghee to form a very thin layer at the bottom of the pan, no more than that. If you don't have ghee, you can use a neutral oil with a high smoke point, like refined olive oil or vegetable oil. So, as you can see, very little fat, just enough to coat the bottom of the pot. Now we add the popcorn kernels. So, from experience, for a pot such as this, you want to add just enough so that they form one even layer with a bit of leg room between each other. We're looking for budget airline economy here. So for me, squeeze in a bit more. O'Leary would be proud. You shake so that they're evenly coated with the ghee. Once they're coated, again, you form an even layer, lid on, and you bring up the heat close to high, in this case, induction 8. And we simply wait for the first popping sound. The oil prevents the popcorn from sticking and helps us distribute the heat evenly. The heat then turns the moisture inside the popcorn into steam, will then expand the popcorn and eventually popping it. Now, we've heard a few pops, so you lower the heat to 7 on a gas stove between medium and maximum. You can see, even with a tight lid, steam is escaping. So what you do is you push it down slightly and you start to shake the pan a bit. And this will make sure the heat is distributed evenly. You once again let it pop. And once again we shake. This time, not just for heat distribution. Once they start to pop, the unpopped kernels might stay at the top. You want to shake it so that they go to the bottom and get a chance to pop themselves. Once the popping sound is no longer rapid, we switch off the stove and we give it about 1 minute for the potential laggers to have a chance, because the trapped steam is still very hot inside. Of course, while that's happening, we do some origami. Like I said in all my toddler recipe videos, visual is almost as important as taste. Who wouldn't want to eat things from this? After about a minute, we reveal the beauty. There's not much excess oil, but I still like to put it in a sieve. And as you can see, almost every single one popped. You can dress it however you want, but homemade popcorn with just ghee, for me, is incredibly tasty. Of course, you want to make it as full as possible for dramatic effects. And that's it. Less than 5 minutes from start to finish. This is homemade popcorn. I really hope you enjoy.